Hey guys, and welcome back to the Gulf Coast Growth Show. I'm your host, Jason Lee, joined by my co-host, Zeke Smith.
What's up, Jason?
Glad to have you back, buddy.
Yes, sir.
We missed you on the last episode.
Yeah.
And we are joined by Ms. Sarina Landers, who is the chair of the Associated Builders and Contractors.
That's right.
You got it.
Yeah, awesome. So we, not that that's hard, but there's a joke behind it. So with that being said, we are excited to have you today, coming and sharing a little bit with us. Our objective today is really highlight the relationship between our organizations and how these two companies or how these two servant organizations come together and collaborate, and then also really highlight women in construction and your story. I mean, what you've been able to do. And I've had the pleasure of knowing you really since I was there, and it's just been so cool watching you work your way all the way up to chair. So it's been kind of neat. So first of all, before we dive in, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, what you're doing these days, how you got here.
Okay, that's a loaded question. My background. So I'll start from my degree. My degree is in criminal justice.
Okay.
It's a kind of crazy story how I got into construction. Worked in the legal field for about 4 years, and after a while I was just done, and I wanted to do anything else except be in legal. So one of my friends worked for a general contractor, and he had worked with a subcontractor, and he knew the subcontractor was looking for someone. So I came in, started working for a large drywall company, started in the accounting department, did that for about 5 years, and then transitioned to business development and operations. Did that for another 5 years there. And then I moved over to the general contractor side almost 4 years ago and started again as business development and operations, and then just transitioned to the role that I'm in now.
Which is what role?
Which is vice president and chief of staff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you do in that? Yeah, congrats. What do you do in that role exactly? A little bit of everything?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Wear a lot of different hard hats. So mainly I oversee HR, help a lot with the business development, IT. It, again, just depends on what day it is. And that's why I love what I do, because no 2 days are the same. And we have really, really great team. And I love what Corvus is all about. So.
Love
cool
it.
Story behind Corvus too.
Oh, well, yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, it's a family-owned company. We actually branched off. We were the construction arm of Trammell Crow, which is a huge developer. And then Steve Thornton took over the reins about 34 years ago, and as Corvus Construction, and then it's just had insane growth since his son Will took over as president. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so, and you mentioned wearing multiple hats, and that's probably one of the things that I love most about the construction space is that everyone seems to be servant, kind of jumping in where they need to get in and make things happen. It just seems to be kind of the nature of those folks. And I've watched that with your journey. So you've kind of done a little bit of everything at ABC. You've been involved in a bunch of different things. So walk us through the journey as how, like what it took for you to get to a place where you made it to the chair.
Okay.
And why ABC? Like what?
No, it's a really good question. When I started with this subcontractor, my boss at the time said, "Get involved." I'm like, what the heck does that mean? Yeah. That company was part of a lot of different construction organizations. I didn't know anything about construction. They're a member of ABC. And so at the time I was young, it was 13 years ago. So found ABC and got pretty involved in the Young Professional Committee. Had a lot of super cool experiences there. I got to judge scholarships, and then they invited me to U of H to help award some of the scholarships, put on a lot of cool events, and did some fundraisers. So that was kind of my foot in the door at ABC. Met a lot of great people. It was really, really amazing just to build that network and be able to phone a friend and be like, hey, what's this acronym or what does this mean? And just have that, group of peer support, I guess. So started in young professional, and then a couple people that I met at one of the ABC events was like, oh, you should really be a part of membership. And I'm like, what's that? Getting new members, helping retain members. And I was like, sounds like a sales job. That sounds awful. And I was like, let's do it. So started going to the membership meetings. Again, just kept growing the network. I was on that and ended up chairing that. I've been a part of we've got a really cool program called Excellence in Construction. Been a part of Excellence in Construction. I guess about 5 years ago, they started Logic, which is Ladies Operating for Growth in Construction. Got to see that take
Great
shape.
women's group,
Really
founded here in Houston and has spread throughout ABC across the country
Wow.
now. So
That's awesome.
It's a great group.
Yeah. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I was at another event, the AIA Sandcastle competition, and John Glaze was there, and he's a former chair. And I remember he was like, hey, I got to talk to you about something. I was like, oh no, what did I do? And then he was like, do you have any interest in, a chair position? And I was on the board at the time when we had that conversation. I was like, that's a lot to think about. That's a big role, especially like some of the leaders that have been in that position before. I was like, man, I just don't know. So I stewed on it for quite a while. I asked my company, and they were all in, fully supported whatever decision that I was going to make. And then I remember going into the next board meeting and looking at, the wall of chair. And ABC has been around for so long, but looking at it, there was, 3 women on that wall. And I just felt, I was like, it would be such a waste, like such a disservice if I said no to this opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a 5-year term. So I knew I had time. I could kind of sit in and watch how everything worked before I became chair.
Wait, did you say it was a how long a term?
It's a 5-year term.
Well, it's you get on you agree to be on the executive committee, and then unless you choose to opt out of that, you would eventually move up to the chair role.
Wow.
So it's got a couple
it's like it's a big thing.
You're chair for 1 year.
You're chair for 1 year,
and then
you stay on for immediate past chair.
Yeah, which is that still the 5-year?
Yep.
That's part of it.
So right now you're in year 4.
I am.
The 5th. Okay. Yeah. Gosh, dang.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
crazy. Good for you though. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Serious question though.
Okay.
How old were you when you aged out of the young professional? I'm just kidding.
She still has it.
She's like, still has it.
They're always like, it's
She's
how young at heart you are. And I'm like, I am definitely the oldest person in this room.
Yeah, well, I'm just like, so not only is she a women's leader chair, but she's also a young professional in the women's chair. That's amazing. So
I support however I can with the YP group, but some of the people in there, I could probably be their mom. So that's cool.
I say that jokingly because like 5 years ago, somebody said, hey, I was going to nominate you for like 40 under 40. I was like, no.
I'm 41.
I'm like, skip past that one. I no longer qualify.
Should have been last year.
I should have been a couple of years past. A little bit embarrassing. So,
that's right.
So, okay. So walk me through for our members that don't understand the role and kind of both of these organizations serve in almost a collaborative manner because we're really kind of rowing in the same direction, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think people get the idea because if they're a member, if they're a stakeholder in this region, they understand what Economic Alliance goal and objective is. And you get involved, you plug in, you serve with the members, you understand what's happening for your clients. You even mentioned it. You said you got to learn so much. For me, it's huge. Mm-hmm. I did not come from the industry, but I had a bunch of construction clients. And so this organization has served, both of them have served in a way that I can communicate to them.
Yeah.
And that they're like, okay, this guy understands what
we're speak their language.
Speak their language.
Right.
Which has been huge. That being said, how is it that you like what are the primary focuses if you were to get up every day and say, I'm trying to lead this organization. What are you guys going out to try to tackle? What are the primary concerns for the Associated Builders Contractors?
ABC focuses on 4 pillars: safety, political advocacy.
Tough word. That one.
Yeah, definitely. It's our primary focus. And so PAC, networking opportunities, and membership and events. So the main overlap that I see with Economic Alliance and ABC is just strengthening our talent pipeline, all the workforce, the development opportunities, and we have a lot of the same members. ABC, the composition of our organization is, our goal is to be 70% of contractors, 30% vendors,
Right.
Associates, associates,
suppliers, right? Yeah.
And so in the contractor pool, that's general contractors and subcontractors, and a huge percentage of that is industrial contractors. So, a lot of similarities throughout the 2 organizations.
Yeah, I think the thing that I was most, I thought was really cool when I came to the ABC and became a member, because I was here first, was that kind of that overlap. And that's how I heard about it. I heard about ABC through this organization. And so then I started serving in both places, just because I wanted to know as much about construction as possible. But I didn't realize that ABC was so focused on the industrial contractors, and really one of the only organizations that's centered on that. And I think if you're not in construction, you don't realize not all construction is the same, and the level of complexity and work that goes into working behind the gates is distinctly different than a traditional project, right? The safety, the things that are required, all the different things that it takes, even to bid work, is completely different.
Yeah.
And so you have to have an organization like ABC who is not only serving with them, but understands it.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you overlap what you were talking about with staff, and you start thinking about CMEF, it's actually right down the street. Right.
Yeah.
And tell us about CMEF.
Yeah. So,
am I saying it right?
Yeah.
You are. Yeah. You're saying it right. So CMEF is.
Making sure I got that one right.
You got it. Construction Maintenance Education Foundation, and it is just right around the corner, and it's basically like the training part of ABC. They've got, you're a little more involved in CMEF than I am, but how many different apprenticeship programs?
It's 20 plus. I know that now. It's
Wow.
maybe even closer to 30.
I think it's one of, or it might be the largest, with all the different certifications that they offer. So a lot of apprenticeship training, a lot of companies that will set up training for their employees through CMEF, which is amazing. If your company is too small, or you have a certain project with these parameters, and you've got to have these courses to get onto whichever project that the company won, CMEF will help build out that training program for you. So very, very just a unique opportunity in that regard.
Great. Yeah. I know that CMEF, I've been out to their location, but I know that there's a lot of collaborative opportunities going into the schools, going into the area. I know that these organizations feed off of each other with potential resources and really just trying to, ultimately we have a huge, I guess, maybe if there's one thing holding back the industry in and of itself, it's talent, right?
Yeah.
There's just not enough
skilled
laborers to do the work. We could probably build more if we just had more people to do the work. So it's pretty cool how they're both doing that. And then you talked a lot about kind of the legislative stuff. You talked to us a little bit about how y'all's really where your primary focus for when it comes to the Political Action Committee. I know that there's some unique things that ABC really champions in the marketplace for construction. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, for sure. We have the legislative conference coming up in a few weeks, and I think last year Greater Houston had sent the most people to that conference. So it's
Of any chapter, yeah.
Of any
Wow.
chapter in the States. And that I'll never forget the first time I went. I was so uncomfortable. Just I have always very much just politically tried to stay in my lane. ABC, I love it's whatever is best for the industry.
Yeah,
That
right.
is what they are going to support. And it was incredible, just like all the education sessions that surrounded that and prepared us to go to, they call it the walk on the hill.
Mhm.
And ABC State does a phenomenal job of coordinating all of the visits and breaking us up into small groups and going to meet with the different legislators and some of their staff to we go in with usually they give us kind of some marketing material, but it's really what legislative priorities that we need to address and get through or have.
Now, is this in Austin or the one in
Do both?
In both.
Both.
Yeah. So states in Austin, and then
I went to the
State,
one in
obviously.
Washington last year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
awesome.
you
It was
brought your
great.
mom,
I brought
right?
my mom.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Super
You've
cool.
never been to the Austin one?
No, that's
Yeah,
next
that
on my
one.
list. Though.
Yeah.
Austin's good too.
That one's really.
I mean,
really
shout out to
good.
the Winklers. They're members of both
Oh, my
ABC and this
gosh.
organization. They do a lot of work for
They
those,
really do.
both
Yeah.
those trips.
Yeah.
I mean, Dennis is always the legend, but Ross is just always hustling and getting that stuff. So shout out to him. We love the Winklers. So
Yeah. Ross, he's a rock star.
Yeah.
And just represents ABC in such a good light. He's just so knowledgeable, a little intimidating because I never God, he's just so smart.
Ross is gonna blush in this episode.
He is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick, last month was Women in Construction Week, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it earlier, right? You look up on the wall of past chairs, and now you're number 4,
Mhm.
right? And so there is definitely a male dominance in an industry in regards to not dominance, but I guess
Still, yeah.
well, yeah,
Still
dominant,
yeah.
dominant in regards to bodies. There's a lot more
Female
men,
percentage is
and
growing, but
female
it's
percentage is growing,
certainly
so.
high
So
majority.
what is that? I think when I was going back to your timeline, we're talking about over a decade plus now in
Mhm.
construction that you've been involved in getting. How have you as a woman seen it change from when you first walked into the workforce and to now, even being a chief of staff, right, which is awesome. How have you watched the industry evolve in regards to how women are getting plugged in, their acceptance, their roles, their growth? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that question a lot. And
Good.
I feel like I can only share my view, which 13, 14 years in the scheme of things isn't much, but
Mhm.
have seen a lot more participation, collaboration, and just the opportunity. We mentioned Logic
Mhm.
earlier. So Logic was a huge piece of that. And from Logic, even I'm also a board member at the University of Houston for the construction management group. And they started a group called CWIC. I think that was six years ago. So right around the same time that Logic got started.
Mhm.
And just it's like the sisterhood of the Women in Construction group is so powerful, and it's amazing. But again, it's just that peer group, the support, people you can call, and I've loved seeing that.
That's so cool.
NAWIC is one of the huge players in Women in Construction Week. They put on a different event every day, and just have
That's a big party.
Yeah.
Really
It's
cool.
National Association for
Women.
Women in Construction. And they also do a really good job of bringing in all of the other organizations to participate. Like C3 Construction Career Collaborative started a program called She Builds. I think that was also around the same time, which is a huge event, brings in all the other organizations to help There's outreach from all of the companies. And I think the first year that we ever had the event, there was 1,500 girls from different participating high schools that, had just the slightest interest in construction. And companies would come in, they would get to, sit on the big equipment and operate that for a minute. They would go up on the scaffold, like actually use the hand tools. So just, I really think it's spreading awareness in general.
That's great.
I will tell you, if I knew what I know now and construction management was an option, I mean, I missed out. Like, it's so crazy. I never thought I would be a part of the industry, but just being brought in, just open arms, everyone being just like the greatest people in the world. Yeah. And the opportunities have been insane. I get to do so many cool things.
That's so cool.
And I can't think. I'm like, what if I could change anything? I wouldn't.
Right.
And it's just, more and more just keep, I guess, spreading the word, telling people about the opportunities, whether it's going to speak at different high schools or going to the colleges. I think that's been, people tell their friends, and word spreads.
Speaking of the kind of the sync ups between the Economic Alliance and ABC, on that topic, Women in Alliance, and we have these luncheons. I think they're every quarter. I know you've been to at least one of them or so. When we had Julia Morales come talk, and I know Jason and I have both attended a couple of those as well. Yeah. Great events. I think we have one coming up soon in a couple of weeks or so. Yeah. That's another sync up.
And the turnout is amazing,
isn't it?
Great, my gosh. Yeah. The sponsorships, like all of the organizers, like it's all in. Everything is just.
And there's several ABC members that show up that are involved in some of that. So that's another kind of intersection point there of the Women in Alliance with the Logic group and the Women in Construction group. So I was certainly impressed the whole month of March, really. I mean, there's WIC Week, but it seemed like there was some company hosting something about, or the social media kind of blew up, so it's pretty special. So,
Zeke, any questions before we wrap up?
No, what's anything other than your big promotion lately? What else are big highlights with ABC that you want to blast out about what's going on with ABC in the chapter, and any big celebratory points to tell our 13 or 14 listeners today?
Stop. So with ABC right now, we're it's renewal. So focusing on retention, member engagement, just quality of the events that we're hosting, other people that haven't been a part of it, bringing them in, whether it's inviting them to an event or education, some educational event. Just to step back, I credit ABC with helping me so much throughout my career. I took a leadership class there, probably 5 or 6 years into being into becoming as involved as I am now. And it just, I think I'm so thankful, and just feel almost forever indebted to all the tools that they have given me to kind of get to where I'm at now. But in terms of,
that's awesome. I love it.
In terms of the ABC for the remainder of the year, like, we have a ton of things on our calendar. We have some really big PAC goals that we're trying to achieve, and I'm super excited with where we are and how it's been going.
So with that, when you mentioned goals and things that are trying to be achieved, I think it's important to note, both in each organization, Associated Builders and Contractors and Economic Alliance, that the advocacy part is important. And so a lot of these events, people are always wondering, like when you go to the gun shoot or when you go to the thing and you do the different stuff that's going on, it's not just a great way to network and do stuff, but you're actually contributing to a cause, right? And so, and that cause fights for your industry. Especially I know we're real big on merit shop, and I think a lot of guys don't realize how valuable that is in our state and the things that are going on. So it's really important to understand that it's not just throwing money at something. You're really throwing money at something that is there for you, for your business, for your employees, for your people. And so even if you don't have the time to get plugged in, get somebody from your team plugged in, get them involved, and then throw some money at it. Don't be afraid to, because it's not like these are big profit centers. Every dollar is being reallocated
for sure
to go back to you.
And if it's not a PAC dollar, then it's a scholarship dollar or supporting. It's
both organizations are created to increase opportunity for businesses to grow and for people to have those opportunities, to get people to the workforce, to grow themselves or families, their companies, organizations, whatever that may be. There is a very logical sync there. They're running this, like you said earlier, running the same direction, really interested in the growth of this region.
Absolutely. And it's it's a minor expense to pay for our wardrobes. Minor. But considering all that's done. So, Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure you got that dress just for today. Yes.
No, but when I walked in, I was like, man, I matched.
The logo.
You did well.
Especially never having watched an episode before.
Never haven't even seen it.
Didn't know this existed. What's the show called again?
She's one of the 14 listeners.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And now hopefully we'll grab her son.
Both of our parents.
Yeah. So her mom will watch it, her son. Exactly. Man, we made break 20 this time.
Might be able to break 20.
Come on. Let's go.
Hey, you did a great job today.
Thank you.
And we do appreciate all the value you bring and the collaborative relationship between both organizations and champion the cause on our region. Anything else that you want to say before we wrap up?
Just thank you. Thank you for having me and letting this be my first podcast.
Not your last, I bet.
No, you're going to be a big deal. As soon as people get a hold of this episode, it's game over. So with that, guys, we really do appreciate you, as always, tuning in. And we would also encourage you to pay it forward. As Sarina was talking, I was thinking, I've got to get my daughter around her. I've got to get my daughter to come spend some time with her and some of the other women in industry, just so she knows what's out there and what exists as she enters this stage in life, trying to figure out what she's going to do next. And so many of you are probably listening to the same thing, going, with the teenagers trying to figure out what to do, or trying to figure out what they want to be. And so, and these industries offer so much, whether you're male, female, whether you want to get into the office and become in the HR role, or whether you want to get into trades and the crafts. And that's what's so cool about it, is you can go either way and have a successful career. And these organizations are committed to helping people do that. So we would ask that you just take the episode, go pay it forward, put it out to somebody who needs to hear it, and share that with them. And as always, if you have feedback for us, or maybe you want to be a guest, or somebody who should be a guest, message myself, Jason Lee, or Zeke Smith on LinkedIn. Get plugged in, follow us, get connected to us. And again,
quickly, how do we get it? If they want to join ABC, how do they get a hold of Sarina?
So if you want to talk to Sarina, how do we?
Sarina's a great ABC recruiter. So
you can find me on LinkedIn too.
There you go.
I follow y'all.
There you go. This morning she's like, "What's this show called?" I'll follow it.
Exactly. So we appreciate you guys again. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.